What's up, YouTube? This is John, and we are back with episode 15-2 of the Super Deformed Gamescast. I say 2 because we had gone live on Wednesday, and thanks to Jeff's Canadian fucking internet, he caused a mass ripple throughout Google Plus, and everything got shut down after about 9 minutes. But we're back. Hopefully Canada doesn't fuck us up again, Jeff. But in all seriousness, thanks for joining us again, dude.
Yeah, thank you. It's not my country's fault, I swear.
Don't worry about it, man. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm good.
First,
over.
yeah, no, and me too, dude. I was actually up late playing my my new Xbox One. After Tomb Raider, I started playing Sunset Overdrive last night, which is really fucking awesome, by the way. And that leads me into what are we all playing right now? We'll start with Jeff. What are you even playing this week, dude?
I kind of had ADD this month. I haven't really picked anything to commit to, so I've been playing Amplitude because I backed it. So I got it on the 23rd, and it's really good. It's tough though. Like I thought I was better at it. I played the original one a long time ago.
I've never played. I never played the original, so I really don't know shit about it.
It's just a rhythm game. If you've played like Rock Band or Guitar Hero, it's similar to that, but just with a controller instead. But it's really about just getting into the groove of it's got like a really synth or electronic heavy soundtrack.
I'm very excited for that. I
was gonna say, Brandon, that sounds like it's right up your alley.
It is exactly. I played Frequency on PS2 back in the day. Yeah.
The weird issue I have, like because they have different control schemes. It's basically a 3-button combo because you've got a left track, a right track, or left, right, and middle for your buttons. And usually I used L1, R1, and R2 on the DualShock, like on the PS2, but on the DualShock 4 now you actually have spring triggers, and it's really hard on your finger depressing that all the way. So I don't know.
Interesting.
And all the control schemes use that almost, except for 1 or 2 I think that use one of the face buttons.
I really liked Rock Band Unplugged, which was basically Amplitude.
Was that the one for the DS or something?
No, it was PSP.
Oh, yeah.
You know, speaking of shit that people are playing, Brandon, you never really got to talk about Need for Speed, did you?
No, for 10 minutes and then...
and not even that, dude, because about half the conversation was spent trying to get our fucking shit going. Talk to me about Need for Speed, dude, because you really like it, and the meta for that score is at 66.
Yeah, 66. I don't know. So I got the Platinum Trophy for it this morning, actually. I finished the story mode a couple days ago, but you just need to like do some daily challenges that refresh every 24 hours to get the plat. But anyway, I enjoyed everything about it, except some of the always online functionality. So it's like the Dark Souls of racing games. And it's not the first Need for Speed to be always online, but I mean that's like the biggest issue that it has. Everything else is tight as hell. Like the FMV is whatever. It's unskippable and it's dumb. It's poorly acted. But
what is it like? So here's the thing I don't get about the FMV. Like, what is it? It's basically like career mode, right? Like fucking story mode?
Yeah. Well, there's, I think, like 5 characters, and each character represents a different style of racing. Like, so one character is the speed guy, and if you do his story missions, it's just races. Another guy is like the style guy, and if you do his missions, they're all drift races. You know, so each person kind of, and you're leveling up different categories. Each character has different like progression things tied to their missions. So if you do missions for Amy, that's what lets you get new parts for your car in the garage, stuff like that. So I mean, yeah, it has a typical kind of open world progression. You are leveling up. You get like experience points by destroying stuff on the side of the road, driving at fast speeds, or drifting.
I actually just found out Steve is going to be joining us in just a few minutes, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I just wish I could get excited about it, man. I'm not a racing guy. I never have been.
The graphics are absolutely amazing. It runs on Frostbite, of course, and it looks insanely good. The performance was, there's a couple hitches. It wasn't as solid as like Drive Club was, but I thought the performance was pretty solid 30 almost all the time.
So for people watching us right now, I'm trying to get our chat going, so you guys can ask questions. For whatever fucking reason, it's just not playing ball, because fucking YouTube reasons. But I'm working on that right now. So hopefully I can get this shit sorted out, because we have just been plagued with all kinds of fucking problems over the past few weeks with Google Plus and YouTube. It's massively fucking frustrating. But we do want to take questions, so hopefully we'll be getting this worked out pretty soon. Gabe, what about you, dude? What are you playing, man?
Uh, not much actually. I'm after this Steam sale, which I bought a shitload of stuff. I'm still trying to decide what am I gonna play first. So I've just been playing some stuff on my Vita. I just recently platinum Sound Shapes, which I got on. I think it was Plus. It was a Plus
Yeah, that's
game.
a pain in the ass.
Never even played it, man.
Yeah, man.
You have
My
to do the
fingers
death. You have to do the death mode to get the platinum. Yeah,
death mode.
I got it.
Yeah, my fingers were in pain by the end of it.
I think the good thing with sound shapes isn't that the one where the platinum carries over if you transfer your save?
I think it does, but I did it 2 different times on PS4 and Vita. I mean, it only takes like 4 hours.
Yeah, not very long. It's only hard as hell. The death mode, I mean.
Yeah, because a lot of it is random. Like the time limits are so tight, and the spawns of the little icons you have to collect are random. So sometimes you just can't do it, and it gets frustrating.
Steve, it's about time, man. Welcome.
Hey guys.
What's up, dude? I'm just giving you a hard time, man.
Absolutely.
Fucking, I'll just go ahead and tell you that kids are secondary to the Super Deformed Gamescast. All right, so next time, get your priorities in line, man. I thought this was a good week to break out the PS3 and play a couple of games that passed under my radar a few years ago, and I picked South Park: Stick of Truth. And I actually just finished it yesterday morning. It took me about a day and a half to clear it, and I'm not even a big South Park fan, but I thought it was a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to South Park: The Fractured But Whole. I can't say that fucking name without laughing. But I'm just gonna say the sequel, man. I'm just gonna say the sequel. I'm looking forward to the sequel at some point this year. I thought South Park was great, and I'm not even a South Park guy. I thought it was genuinely funny. I was laughing out loud almost the entire game. It was easy. I thought the game was ridiculously easy. But
yeah, I've always heard that it's easy and short. Not to its detriment. It's supposed to just be an episode of South Park. How long?
That's all it is, dude. It's like a 10, 12-hour episode of South Park.
Yeah, you don't want it to overstay its welcome.
No, that's all it is. And that's all I needed to do. Now, I'll be totally honest with you. By the end, I was done. I was like, okay, that's it. I got what I needed, and that's it. So you're good. I thought it was great. Good game. I'm also actually just started playing Sunset Overdrive.
I wish I had an Xbox just for Sunset Overdrive.
Dude, I gotta tell you. So for the first hour, I hated it. I absolutely fucking hated it because the controls are really unintuitive. And I compare the movement and the traversal to like Infamous. Okay. There's a lot of grinding in this game. Remember how Cole could like grind on power lines and railroad tracks and
I've only played Second Son.
Okay, well, so Cole had this ability, and anybody who's played Infamous knows what I'm talking about. You can grind on power lines and railroad tracks and stuff like that. This guy can do the same thing, but the difference is that when Cole landed on one of these, he would automatically lock onto it and just glide along. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. In this, anytime you want to do that, you have to hit X. And
oh, okay, yeah, so more like Jet Set Radio.
That's exactly what it's like, and yeah. I'm not a fan. The game itself is fucking great, and once it clicks, it takes about an hour for it to click. But once it clicks, the game is fucking great, and in fact, it's so much fun that it's really making me wish I got an Xbox One back in 2014 when the game came out, because I'm having a ton of fucking fun with it. The sense of humor is really over the top. It's got this really zany 90s attitude thing kind of going on. It's cheesy, but it works in the context.
That's like the least enticing part about it to me.
And I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. Like the game is self-aware to a point that it just gets annoying. Like the guy he reminds me of Deadpool, and he's constantly he's constantly breaking the fourth wall and saying, "I'm in a video game."
Well, I mean, I've seen the ending posted on NeoGAF with the NeoGAF reference in it. I know where that game is coming from.
Yeah, I mean, you could not. it's a video game, and it knows it's a video game, and it doesn't try to be anything other than that. The story's paper thin, but it's a lot of fun. I mean, so I'll probably finish that. And the only other thing I've played this week is I don't know if you guys have heard of this game. It's an early access. It's called Layers of Fear.
Nope, never heard of it. Wait, I did. Oh, I did hear about it. It's like the new popular game amongst streamers and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a horror game, and it's a lot like PT in the sense that you're in this one house and you're walking through it, but and shit keeps changing, but it's different. Like it's not just a hallway. You're walking through the house, and like you'll go through a door, and then you turn around, you go back through the door, and the door's either gone or it takes you into a different room.
Sure.
It's good. It's very, very fucking obvious the game's in early access. I'm playing it on Xbox One, and dude, that frame rate is awful. And the frame rate and the screen tearing in this game is the worst I've ever fucking seen.
Screen tearing is so last gen.
Dude, like I will take a shitty frame rate over terrible screen tearing any day of the week and twice on Sunday. It's awful, and it's so distracting that I mean, like I said, the game's in early access. It's not done yet, so I understand. But the screen tearing is so bad that it literally, like, I can play it for half an hour and then I start to get a headache, and I want to go do other things. But that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And Steve, we'll finish off with you, man. What have you been playing this week?
Well, I had family in town.
Multiplayer. It's multiplayer, right?
Well, it's an old favorite of mine. It's Rock Band. I had a lot of family, and so we were playing Rock Band, and it's forgiving when you have everybody in the same room. But there's still no multiplayer patch. So
have you tried Guitar Hero yet?
I tried it in store, which is not the same thing as getting my hands on it outside of that. So yeah, I tried it at Target, but I don't know. I want to play it with other people. That's the point. It doesn't seem like Guitar Hero is really meant for that.
Nope, it's not.
No, it's not. Well, and so here's the thing, man. You need to give up waiting for that multiplayer patch for Rock Band.
Just play Amplitude next week.
Just play. Yeah, that's a great point. Play Amplitude, man. You need to give up on Rock Band multiplayer. It's not fucking happening.
I cannot wait for Amplitude. I'm so excited for that.
That comes out this month, right?
It comes out on Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I might have to try that. I've never played it. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
I didn't play Amplitude, but I did play Frequency.
You know what? Speaking of Amplitude, I am really excited for Rez.
Oh,
on PSVR, man. I mean, oh my God, that's going to be so fucking.
That's exactly what it should be.
Dude,
Rez doesn't need a sequel. It's perfect what was there. They just need to take that and then add a bonus level into it.
Exactly
what they're doing. Yeah.
Like I don't do this anymore, but dude, if I was in college, like when Rez came out, dude, on VR, I would just smoke a shitload of weed and put that headset on and let my mind just melt. Oh, it would be so cool.
I'm glad they announced it early because it's gonna take like 9 months of like getting into a mental state to prepare for Rez in VR.
Dude. Like I'm actually worried that that's gonna give somebody like an episode.
It's it's such an intense experience. I can't wait.
So I wanted to jump in the news here. There's a few interesting things that have happened this week. One of them just today, and I wanted to start off with. So Square Enix has finally confirmed that Final Fantasy 15 will in fact launch in 2016. It says here from GameSpot, Final Fantasy 15 will launch in 2016. Game director Hajime Tabata confirmed today. The release timing was already strongly hinted at, but now it's absolutely confirmed as part of a blog post. We will finally release Final Fantasy 15 this year in 2016. In development, previous phases required wisdom and strength. Okay. However, moving forward, the final phase will focus on effort and willpower.
I'm finally starting to get excited for this now, I guess.
I just want to point out that entire sentence sounds like a Kingdom Hearts game title. But doesn't it though? Kingdom Hearts required wisdom and strength. That's exactly what it sounds like. I vow to you all that every member of the team will do their best to the very last possible moment, taking responsibility and pride in their craft. Well, he's fucking serious. But no, dude. So this actually after what? Like so let's think about this. Final Fantasy Versus 13 was announced in 2009.
Was it only that late?
No.
I thought it was early.
No, it was early. No, you're right. 2007. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say 2007.
It was 2006, right? 2006.
No, it was 7.
It might have been 6 because they announced Final Fantasy 13 as like a trilogy.
At any rate, it's been a long fucking time.
I remember because I was still in high school.
Yeah.
I'm just glad the fucking game. I'm just glad the fucking thing is coming out this year. It finally feels real to me.
Only 10 years.
I'll believe it when I see it.
It has to be better than Final Fantasy 13, right?
Dude, if it's not,
Has
if
to
it
be.
like, well, and so here's the thing, like,
What if
like
this game sucks so bad?
dude, okay. Here's the thing. I'm part of the Final Fantasy 13 Defense Force.
Oh
Right,
no,
like-
screw you, man! I hate that game.
Dude, I didn't think it was not. All right, hold on. It was not the best Final Fantasy game.
Who was the
What?
final boss?
Dude, it was Space Pope.
what was the final boss's motivations in the story? Can you explain any of that?
No, and that's a valid point. So, dude, here's what I remember, and this is the only. So, here's the thing about Final Fantasy 13. I played that shit in Afghanistan, right? I was deployed to Afghanistan. I was a civilian. I wasn't in the Marines anymore, and I was waiting for it, right? And then finally, like, I walk back into the skiff, and I see that fucking Amazon box sitting there. And I was like, that shit's shaped. It's shaped like a video game, and I grabbed it and I opened it up. I was like, oh shit. And then all of a sudden, I was like, man, I feel real sick. I got to go back to my hooch. Sorry, guys. So I ran back and I'm playing. It took me about 2 weeks to beat it because I'm going out on missions and shit. And I remember when I got to when after you beat Space Pope and Orphan comes up out of the water with no fucking context at all. And he says, and so the whole point of the game is that you kill Orphan and then Cocoon falls, right? And so Orphan wants to die. Like he says, here I am, destroy me, and fucking Cocoon's gonna die, and that's what I want. But yet he fights back. I never understood that. I was like, well, if you.
I don't know. It's a video game, but yeah.
Yeah, but so it reminds me a lot of, and that was my one sticking point with 13. It reminded me a lot of what happened at the end of Final Fantasy.
That was your one sticking point.
Dude, I didn't see the fucking big deal. I liked it. I liked 13.
I could
What's
write
the
a
big
bullet
deal?
list that goes on for pages of my sticking.
What's the big problem with Final Fantasy 13? I will never understand this.
The dialogue. I mean, okay. So first off, the dialogue is absolutely dreadful.
Dude,
The
it's got your
voice
boy Troy Baker.
Yeah, that's like the one redeeming quality. But that doesn't fix the dialogue. Like, it's still Troy Baker saying dumb, stupid shit. That doesn't make it good.
Sarah told us to save Cocoon.
Like, even like right from the first 5 minutes of the game, like the dialogue is unbearably stupid.
Okay,
Like,
but see,
everything about it is stupid. The only thing that I liked was the battle system. Everything else is terrible.
but you can't say that shit and not have it sound dumb. Like imagine the script for Final Fantasy VII.
No, but it's like even without the voice acting. No. Like in a way that Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8. No, wait, hold on. I'm not going to defend 8, 9, 12. I'm not going to defend 10 either. But 12, like the way. Wait, hold on. 12 has voice acting and it doesn't sound retarded.
Yeah, they can't even pronounce Marquise or Marquis. They say Marquis.
Yeah, they do.
So,
Is that how they say it in England? I don't know.
No, they say Marquis. So, like, the first time I was playing 12 and they were like, the Marquis, I was like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I
The
remember
Marquis. Like,
that was a pretty weird. I remember that. And then the fact that Vaughn was in the game at all when he shouldn't have been. If they just cut Vaughn. Anyway.
Vaughn was the only Final Fantasy character that didn't matter shit to the story.
Exactly. 12 is a good game, though. It's got flaws.
No, it's not. No, it's really not. It's
12
really
is
not a good
with
game.
flaws. 13 is just terrible.
I'll defend 10 if anybody wants.
But,
I'll defend 10 as well, for sure.
But you know what this conversation makes me realize is that ever since Final Fantasy VIII, the series has been so off and on. Like, regardless of whether or not you like 12 or 13 or 9 or 10, the series has just been up and down all over the place. So I just really want us to get a good fucking product with 15. I really
Tell me
do.
about it. It's been 5 years since the last. No, 6 almost. It's been almost 6 years since
It
Final
has.
Fantasy.
It's been a long fucking time. Dude, I
That
fired
was
up Final
that was
Fantasy.
the last real single-player Final Fantasy.
So I fired up Final Fantasy X HD like a couple weeks ago, and dude, I just couldn't do it. Like I played it for an hour, and I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Dude, I didn't even like Final Fantasy. I bought that game. I got that game for Christmas in 2001, and I didn't even finish it.
Yeah, I just couldn't do it, man. I was like, you know what, I'm over. I didn't like it when it came out on PS2, and I don't like it now.
So I like the battle system, but it's slow.
Why can't we just get a proper sequel to Tactics? I fucking love that.
I feel like Tactics, like I don't know, you got your Tactics Ogre, which is obviously came before it, but they're so similar and I don't know, even like from a story standpoint, they're like. Have you played Tactics Ogre?
No, I have. I played Let Us Cling Together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because I mean that's well, because Final Fantasy Tactics is basically the sequel to that game, but
exactly. Yeah. But still great.
yeah. So like,
and
there's plenty of. I want another Ogre battle game. Is really what I want.
Actually, you know what? That kind of leads me to another thing. Is speaking while we're on the topic of Final Fantasy, again, this is just happened just the other day. Final Fantasy IX to be released on PC, iOS, and Android.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool. Whatever. I'm kind of weirded out and a little disappointed that there's no console release on there. Because I thought Final Fantasy IX, I thought Final Fantasy IX in a lot of ways was better than 7.
In some ways.
Well, that's what I said. In some ways, aside from I mean, dude, visually it holds up better.
Visually
it holds up better. The battle system is more traditional. There's four guys in your party, which I always liked. It's more traditional.
Yeah, 4 characters in power. But then you have things like Trance is like Limit Break, but just worse.
Yeah, no, trances were dumb. The random battle rate in that game was fucking atrocious. You could take 5 steps.
The encounter rate is too high, and the battle speed is too slow.
The battles are really fucking slow.
Like, even when you crank the speed up in the options, just the amount of time it takes for the AT beta bar to fill in 9 is way slower than 7 and 8.
Although I did like the fact that you could skip through all those summons cutscenes. That was cool.
Yeah, there's that. There is that.
And of course, it was the worst final boss in video game history.
It is, but it's got a great final boss theme.
It does. No, the final boss theme is cool. I thought Kuja was a great villain.
Yeah, Kuja's cool.
I just wish that I want my trophies. I need my trophies, man. I wish this was going on PS4.
If they do a port of FF9 exactly like 7, I would get the platinum again. But the thing is, I know I've played FF7 like 8 times, so I already knew exactly what to do. With FF9, I've never 100% of that game legitimately, so like it would still take me a long time with the cheats.
Yeah, I'm actually at 92% on my Final Fantasy VII trophies, and I don't know if I'll ever go back and get the platinum. I might one day.
What one do you need to do?
I need 3, but I need dating Barrett. I need the one where you date Barrett. I need level 99 and maxing out on Gil. Those are the only 3 I need.
Yeah, so level 99 is super easy. So what you do is the W item trick to get elixirs, and then go down to the final cave right before Sephiroth, and then you'll find these pots that you can feed them elixirs, and they give you a shitload of experience and AP. And then you equip all your guys with all materias, and so you just keep mastering the all materias, and you can sell those for like 1.2 million gil each or so.
Oh, that's cool. I can do that.
Yeah. So it doesn't. If you use the 3 times battle speed, it actually doesn't take that long.
It's gonna have to wait though, man, because I'm all about Sunset Overdrive right now.
Yeah.
What a cool fucking game! Like I can't say it enough. Like once you get used to the control scheme, guys, it's really fucking cool.
I like like when I first saw Splatoon, it reminded me. It's that very colorful, vibrant aesthetic that I like.
So what's next on the docket? Yeah. So 2016. Sony says there will be an unprecedented rush of big releases for PS4 in 2016, and to please look forward to it. So this is from IGN. While PlayStation 4 continues to sell incredibly well, the year hasn't been Sony's strongest in terms of first-party content. That's for damn sure. According to SCE Worldwide Studios President Shuhei Yoshida, however, 2016 is going to be a very different story. The Sony exec told 4Gamer that next year marks an unprecedented rush of big titles for PS4, and Yoshida also highlighted the impending release of PlayStation VR as one of the many reasons for console owners to be excited for 2016. And then they have a list of some of the titles that are expected to come out this year. And you got The Last Guardian, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Uncharted 4 are 3 big AAA titles that are expected to be released this year. A lot of people have been saying that Horizon Zero Dawn, or speculating anyway, that Horizon Zero Dawn will not make this year, but
I think it will.
I think it will too. And to be honest with you, the smart money, in my opinion, is for a fall release. I think that'll be Sony's big tentpole release for the fall.
Yeah, November.
And to be quite honest, and you guys let me know what you think. Like they can't get away another fall without a big AAA exclusive. They just can't. I think.
What do you think about The Last Guardian? I see that coming like maybe like late fall, like late summer. I don't know, like August or September maybe.
I don't know. I'll throw this one out to the group and see what you guys think. But I personally was troubled by the fact that we haven't seen anything from that game since E3.
Well, the thing with those games though, like they're not very long. Well, Shadow of the Colossus, I guess, but Ico is like 5 or 6 hours, I think.
Yeah,
and,
it goes super short.
You know,
Yeah,
and if The Last Guardian is not, you know, I don't know, if it's 6 to 7 hours, you don't want to show off. They've already showed 15 minutes. I'm guessing they're just keeping it close to the chest.
Yeah, that's
Really.
perfect point. You're right.
I
It's
don't-
probably not a very long game.
Well, see, the thing is I don't know, like what I don't know what a good launch window for that game would be, because I mean, let's face it, because those games, like, I wouldn't by any stretch of the imagination call them big. You know, I mean, it's a AAA title. It's a first party title.
Kind of niche. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a niche. I mean, those are niche games. You know, Shadow of the Colossus was. Yeah, exactly. And so I don't know.
So Shadow of the Colossus launched October of 2005 in the U.S.
But I don't think they can do that with The Last Guardian. Because
I feel like I feel like it could come out in September, October, and be just.
If it comes, but September, I don't know, man, because all the rumors are saying that Destiny 2 is going to come out in September. It'll be announced at E3, and it'll come out in September. And I would expect any.
And then November's going to be Call of Duty. I mean, what you have to release the games anyway. You can't just worry about.
I think The Last Guardian would make a great summer release.
Yeah, like I think August.
We don't have a release date yet, and I don't know. When are they going to announce it?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they could say something at E3, but I mean, that's cutting it awful close. You know, and I don't see that game being a stealth release either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I can absolutely see that game getting lost in the shuffle if they release it during the fall. I mean, dude, that's why they released Dying. That's why Techland released Dying Light in January, because that game would have gotten fucking murdered had it come out last fall. And I guarantee you that's why Sony pushed the order, because they knew they had a subpar product on their hands, and they wanted to get it out of the way of fucking Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed Unity and, you know, Halo Master Chief Collection. That's why that game got pushed. There was. It's not that the game wasn't ready; it's that the game wasn't good. I think The Last Guardian is going to be a better product than The Order, but I also think I don't think it can survive.
I would fucking hope so.
It fucking better be, dude. As long as we waited for that shit, it fucking better be. But I think if they released it, depending on what's releasing this fall, I think if you put it out in November or October this year, the same thing is going to happen in that game that happened to Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's going to get fucking murdered, and it's not going to be because it's not a good game. It'll be because everybody's buying something else. So I don't know, but I do think that we're going to see Horizon as Sony's big. That's going to be their big release this fall.
I only hope that they don't rush it to have that holiday title.
I don't think they will. I mean, dude, like, from what I've heard, Horizon went into development after Killzone 3 was finished. So this has been this has been cooking in the oven for a while now. And I think Sony is wise enough to understand that they can't have another year with so few first-party titles as they did last year. They just can't. I mean, they sold well last year, but that it's at some point you need to showcase your games. You need to start putting fucking games out. And I think 2015 was the last year that they could do that. So I mean, it's put up or shut up time for them, basically.
Do you think there's any chance at God of War?
No.
This year? No. Now, having said that, we all know that God of War 4 is in development. It's like the worst kept secret in the gaming industry. God of War 4 is coming.
Well, Corey Barlog already confirm that much.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's coming. Is it coming this year? No, I don't think it is. I think you, and this is just what I think. I think you'll see an announcement at E3, and I think you'll see 2017 release date. Because you don't release God of War 4, and let's just say for the sake of argument that Horizon Zero, that I'm right, and Horizon Zero Dawn is coming out this November, like I fucking am 99% certain it is. You don't release Horizon and God of War 4 right next to each other. You don't do that, because one is going to cannibalize the other, and I'm not smart enough to say which one it would be, but one of those games is going to suffer if you do that. So no, and Horizon is the game that they're pushing. That's the game we know more about, and so that is the game that's coming first. And I don't think you're going to see God of War 4 till next year. Although I do think you will see it next year.
No, I think it's 2017.
No. I agree.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
Like teasing. They start teasing it out.
Yeah, no, absolutely no. I think we're going to get a tease.
Yeah, they're going to reveal it at E3, is what I guess.
Yeah, And I think I'll be interested to know whether or not they're going to go, whether they're going to stick with Kratos or whether or not we're going to get a new protagonist and
It's going to be Kratos.
It's going to be Kratos.
And everyone's going to be like, another Kratos. And everyone's going to be like, no, Kratos is still cool.
But here's the thing. People are going to bitch about, it's Kratos again. And it's going to be... Yeah, people will still buy it.
I want to see it for the graphics and for the set pieces.
But who's left to kill?
I don't know. Yeah, like who? No, like everything about it.
I hate God of War.
I hate God of War.
I love that series personally. I think it's great. Fucking. I'll never forget. I was dating some girl at the time, and I was playing God of War, and she walked in right as that sequence is playing when you're banging Aphrodite. Yeah. And she just kind of gave me a look and walked out, and actually broke up with me quickly after that. And I was like, all right, well, sorry.
At least it wasn't dead or alive.
Yeah. That would have been worse. Or like Leisure Suit Larry or something like that. But honestly, dude, like part of me wonders if we're gonna get like a soft reboot, for example, like a different protagonist in like Egypt. I think that would be kind of cool.
I think they need to do something because I was late to it. I played 1 and 2 on the HD collection, and then I played 3 a couple of years after it came out, and they were fun. But by the end of all 3, I was like, okay, I've got my fill of God of War, and then I think the sales for Ascension showed too. That game wasn't as well received, but I think people are a bit tired of the formula, so I don't know if they're going to bring back Kratos. I don't know if changing up the setting will be enough, but I mean the game mechanics are just. I think something has to change, and I don't know if they're going to or not.
I think
they need to tighten up the combat in a God of War 4. It can't just be like God of War 3 with better graphics and new set pieces. Yeah, like it can't just. I can't do it. It doesn't need to be a platinum game, but it needs to be something different than what God of War 3 was. Because I just played God of War 3 remastered over the summer, and it was a slog to get through.
Do you recommend it though, dude? I've been kind of wanting to pick that up. Do you recommend it?
Which one?
God of War 3 HD remastered.
For like $10, $15 maybe, if you're desperate. I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy it at all.
See, Jeff made a really good point. Sales for Ascension were really, really limp compared to God of War 3.
And so were God of War 3 remastered. Like nobody talked about that game. Everyone's like, oh, why did they remaster that?
Well, because I honestly, like, I don't even think it has to do much with the mechanics. I think people are just tired of Kratos.
Yeah, that's more what it is.
Like he is what he is, but there's only so many times you can go, oh, my family's dead, I will kill Zeus, but before it gets old. That's why the protagonist in what was it, fucking Shadow of Mordor was my least favorite thing about the game. Because he was Kratos in Middle Earth, and that's just not interesting to me. That's another reason I'm looking forward to Horizon so much, dude. Because I feel like I knew her fucking name. It's escaping me, but I feel like the heroine in Horizon has the potential to be a really cool character.
Yeah, she talks a lot.
And I like that, dude. I like the fact that she's.
I feel like a lot of that was just they were overdoing it for the demo.
It could be.
I don't feel like it was going to be like that in the final game. It seemed excessive.
It would be kind of cool if it were something like that. Maybe tone it down a little bit, but
it seemed like they were just trying to make a big deal about the way. Yeah,
I'm sure.
I just feel like they were overdoing it for the demo to kind of just get her personality across better.
The thing that blew my mind about Horizon is that when I saw that E3 demo and I saw the gameplay, I was like, okay, this is probably running on a fucking massive PC that's daisy chained to another PC, and we're getting a very vertical slice. But apparently, the journalists who saw behind closed doors gameplay were like, no, this is running on a PS4, and everything you see is legit. And it is a legit open world game with fucking multiple hubs you can visit and side quests. And this is by far I'm more excited about Horizon this year than any other game except for Dark Souls 3. Because it's Dark Souls. But and of course the other big release we have this year for PS4 is Uncharted 4, which was recently delayed by about a month, and is coming out in April, end of April now. And of course we all know that Uncharted 4 is probably going to be a 90 plus on Meta.
It's a Game of the Year candidate.
Yeah, those games are always good.
Like without even having to play it. It will be a Game of the Year candidate.
I'll tell you what, though, man. It's going to be a fight between Microsoft and Sony this year because Microsoft has a lot of good-looking titles coming out this year.
Quantum Break,
dude. That's reason numero uno that I'm glad I grabbed an Xbox One because
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
really
a little jealous. I loved Alan Wake. I loved Max Payne. I'm a little jealous.
I am really stoked about Quantum Break. Now, having said that, I do have concerns about Quantum Break, and I raised them on Twitter, and I got called a Sony pony, which is whatever. But my concerns about Quantum Break are so we haven't seen much. Like we've seen very very small snippets of gameplay, right? And I am very concerned about the possibility of this being another Order.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I think that possibility is there.
A game that is hyped to the fucking moon and is 50% cutscenes and interactive conversations and QTEs. I can absolutely see that happening to Quantum Break. Absolutely.
So can I. But I also think that Remedy is a much better developer than Ready at Dawn was.
I agree.
They have more experience in the AAA space already. They've been making AAA games for 16, 17 years.
No, I absolutely agree, and I think Quantum Break will probably be a really good game. I already hear people saying, well, it's the absolute game of the year, and I'm like, you haven't even played it yet. We don't. I guess this is the thing that concerns me the most. Really, to sum it up, it's coming out in April, like early April, and we still don't know a whole lot about it. Like with Uncharted 4, dude, you've seen there's videos of 6-7 minutes of gameplay out there. There's multiple vertical slices of Uncharted 4 out there. We've seen areas near the beginning of the game. We've seen action set pieces in the game. Somebody point out to me what we've seen in Quantum Break that lives up to that, as far as the amount of gameplay we've seen. That trailer that we saw at the Game Awards was 10 seconds long. You guys remember that? There was a trailer at the Games Awards, and they said, "Okay, here we go, Quantum Break," and it was 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that.
and I was like, "What are we going to see more than 15 seconds of this game at a time?" And I'm not trying to ring any alarm bells.
We didn't know a lot about Alan Wake going into that though.
That's a good point. And who knows, dude? Maybe that's just Remedy. Remedy likes to play their cards close to the chest.
Wait, hold on. Remember the marketing for Alan Wake? It was just like those the FMV, the live action scenes.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
The night. What were they called? Night Fears or something?
Oh, the Night Terrors.
Well, is that what it was called? I don't know. They did a little live action series, and that's all we knew about Alan Wake going into it.
All I've seen is Sean Ashmore out there talking about it. I mean, they're talking more about the effort going into the game and a little bit of the story. But you're right, we haven't seen a lot of gameplay.
We really haven't, and I mean, I don't know that much about the mechanics of the game. I mean, I know it's it's ostensibly a third party cover shooter.
Third
person, yeah.
Third party cover shooter.
Third party cover shooter. But no, I mean, I know it's a third person cover shooter, but that's really all I know about it. And I know it deals with time.
We need more of those.
Yeah, we do.
At least I get my Uncharted in a couple months.
Well, and so speaking of that, Gears 4 this fall, which I will almost certainly pick up. I hope it is too.
That's the first game from the Coalition. They're called, right?
Yeah. Well, and see, here's the thing. That's another game, and I feel like that's another series that really needs to shake things up, because it was in a very similar position. It was basically in the exact same position that God of War found itself in. You had Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 sold great, 3 sold great, and then you had Gears of War Judgment, which was a prequel, and that didn't sell anywhere near what Microsoft was expecting. Which, to me, you can kind of draw a lot of parallels between that and God of War Ascension. In the sense
they came out within 2 months of each other.
They did, and they both did not reach expectations.
Yeah, they felt like end of the generation stopgaps.
Well, and see, that's why I'm glad that Naughty Dog is ending the Uncharted series where they're at, and I think they're smart. I think that's a good move, because as good as these games are, and as great as God of War was, and as great as the Gears series and Uncharted, there is such a thing as franchise fatigue.
Yeah, they get played out.
And which is why I think everybody, aside from Capcom just ruining the franchise, I mean, Resident Evil should have been over years ago. Games like God of War 3, I mean, God of War, Gears of War, you can only stretch these games out for so long. And I'm talking about the concept behind the game, which is why I've got such high hopes for Quantum Break, because it seems like it's poised to shake things up if everything pans out. But you should always send your games out on a high note. God of War 3 should, in a perfect world, have been the perfect place to end that series. You know, like Zeus is dead, Kratos has his revenge, and he's done. That's it. Whether or not he lives or dies, that's it. The series is over. He did what he set out to do. And I think it's very telling, and I think Microsoft knows that, which is why I think it's very telling that Gears of War 4 is just called Gears 4. They're dropping the of War. It's just Gears 4, as far as I know.
Wait, are you serious?
Yep.
I just hope it's better than that demo, because that honestly did nothing for me.
And that's the thing, dude. And that's why I'm worried. That's on the flip side. That's why I'm worried about it, because when just like Jeff said, that game. It was Gamescom, right, Jeff? When they showed that demo, it was the end of Gamescom. It was boring. It was boring, and anybody listening can say, "Oh, fucking." But it is what it is. I mean,
you're right. So I'm looking at all the marketing and stuff for Gears of War. They just call it Gears 4.
It's Gears 4.
They're just straight up calling it Gears 4.
And honestly, I think I think it's a way. It's almost a soft reboot. It seems
I'm down with the idea. Yeah, it is kind of soft reboot.
Exactly. They're continuing the essence of the franchise while distancing themselves from the first 3 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a different developer to do their own thing with it. Yeah.
I think it's smart. Having said that, like Jeff just said very astutely, I mean, what we saw at Gamescom didn't really overly impress me. I was like, oh, it's Gears of War. I mean, there's nothing else you can say about it. I mean, it seemed like the same old Gears of War, which is a good thing to some people, but at some point you have to innovate. Which is why I think that that's one of the reasons that Halo 5 sold under expectations, because it was just, and we've had this conversation with Tim Dog when he was on the program, but I mean, it didn't innovate. In fact, in a lot of ways, it went back. I mean, there was no couch co-op, or lack thereof, was the big thing for Halo 5. I mean, we've spoken to Z-Huge and Tim Dog. Tim Dog himself said, look, people went in to go buy Halo 5 and they heard there was no couch co-op and they fucking walked out the door without the game. And I think that's going to be a hurdle that developers are going to have to try to overcome as time goes on. Is at what point do we hit saturation with our game series and we say to ourselves, okay, we've done all we can do. Let's move on. Let's move in a different direction. So it's encouraging that maybe Microsoft is doing that with Gears 4. I guess we can officially stop calling it Gears of War.
Gears of 4.
Gears of 4.
I honestly don't think this rule applies to multiplayer shooter platforms, especially when you're like the top third-person shooter in the business. So I don't know. I think maybe it makes sense in the God of War sense, but Call of Duty is going to keep putting out Call of Duty games. There's no problem.
Well, that's the thing with
putting their thing out.
With Halo, you can't change it too much, because then it's not Halo, and I think even Halo 5 went a bit too far in that direction in some ways. And same thing with Gears of War. If you change too much at some point, it's not what people came there for.
Because I think SOCOM is like the PS4 equivalent of this great third-person shooter franchise that just went away, and I would continue playing that franchise. It just hasn't been released, so I think there'd be a lot of people waiting for that release or left out if you just take it off the shelf or try and remaster it into something else. I mean, we haven't seen anything like Gears on Xbox, so I think there's no harm in them continuing to put out content and really not shaping it too much differently. I mean, look at the newest Call of Duty. I have a lot of complaints about Black Ops 3, and people seem to love it. So they can get away with it on shooters.
I just don't understand the love for Black Ops 3.
I only understand the love for the multiplayer.
And the candy bar.
And the candy bar. No, but the worst part of the Black Ops 3 campaign is the end of it. It's the return of the king of fucking campaign shooters. It just keeps going on and on and on, and it keeps getting worse.
It really, really does.
The last hour of that game was pure, unadulterated torture.
I don't ever plan on finishing it. It's one of those games I know for a fact. I bought it, dude. I spent the $60 on it, and I will never fucking go back.
I did it on Veteran by myself. It was torture.
The co-op was miserable.
It was, dude. I think it briefly made Steve and I hate video games.
The solo, the solo campaign made me hate video games.
It was Steve and I did it on co-op, and it was Steve. I mean, I don't know, man, but that was awful. That
Asthma
was fucking.
simulator.
It was asthma simulator. I love that analogy, dude. It was terrible. Like we sat there and there was just no light. We were playing in the same room, and there was just no fucking life in my basement. We were just like,
Yeah.
God damn, like this is fucking terrible. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. Let's move on. What else is going on?
I have to drop, guys, but thanks for having me.
You got to
All right,
drop,
peace
dude?
out, bro.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, have a good one.
Okay, so Xbox Elite controller. This is again from IGN. Xbox Elite controller supply limited until March 2016. If you're in the market for an Xbox Elite wireless controller, you might have to wait until early next year to pick one up. According to Tech Insider, Microsoft has confirmed it expects supply for the controller to be limited through March 2016. The premium price controller was released in October and sold out quickly. They hope to have stock replenished by December, but they're in high demand, and Microsoft is struggling to keep stores stocked. I don't buy that for a minute. I don't. I mean, and any time a company does this, and I think Nintendo did it with the Wii. I mean, it's anytime. Oh, we can't make enough to keep up with demand. No, fuck off. You're creating demand by shipping out limited quantities, and I wish people would just call it what it is. And it's frustrating because I really want one. Like I held one at GameStop, and I've got an Xbox One now, and I really fucking want a controller. I went looking for one actually the other day. I went to Best Buy. I went to 3 different GameStops. I went to Walmart. I went to Target, and they literally are all sold out. You cannot find one anywhere. And you can't tell me that at this point. I mean, the thing came out in October. It's been selling like crazy. The demand for this thing is through the roof, and you can't tell me that Microsoft, with all their resources, can't meet demand. If Nintendo can meet demand with the Wii, Microsoft can meet demand with a fucking controller. That's my thought, but I want to see what you guys think.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that.
Hashtag Xbox problems. I like it. No, I don't know. To me, it's frustrating. It's frustrating whenever a company does this, because the cause is almost never a lack of supply. And I didn't believe it when Sony said, "Oh, we're having trouble keeping up with PS4 shipments," and it's creating demand. Nobody. This is not a problem that people say, "Oh, we can't make enough. We can't get them out quickly enough." It doesn't. No, I'm not buying it.
Hey, so here's another one for 2016 things. What about No Man's Sky? We didn't talk about that.
Well, we know the release date, right? It's coming out in June, isn't it?
Is it confirmed June?
I think so. And here's the other thing about No Man's Sky.
I think it's
coming out. What you think it's going to be? What?
I think it's going to be huge.
Oh, so do I. People shit all over No Man's Sky, and I don't understand why.
I understand why.
I don't. I think
it's going to be a game that they revealed it too early. They should have revealed it like 6 months ago, honestly.
Do you guys think this is going to be a VR release title?
Yes.
I would agree with that. Oh, I can hear my wife playing Rocket League.
And it's gonna. I feel like they're gonna make it kind of like a big surprise, and it's gonna be like the killer app for VR. That's just me talking out of my ass, but it would be kind of cool.
No. That actually, you know what? It's an important topic, and this is a big question. Who here is picking up VR? Who here has any interest in VR at all? Can anybody here see themselves picking up VR on day one?
On day one? No.
I don't know.
I think I'm going a month or two, maybe out, or 3 or 4 months, maybe. Yeah.
I think I'm going all in on day one.
Okay, that's fair.
Depending on the lineup, maybe.
For me, it's all going to depend on that price point, and it's a little concerning to me that we still don't know it.
It's probably going to cost like 2 months worth of my salary here in Brazil, so I don't know.
Dude. God, the pricing for gaming consoles down there is ridiculous.
Yeah, man.
Ridiculous. Gabe, how much does a PS4 cost in Brazil?
Right now, considering today's exchange rate, it's the official price for a PS4. Maybe let's see. I think it's about $650.
Right.
It was way.
Yeah, wasn't it
expensive.
Wasn't it like a grand when it came out down there?
What?
Wasn't it like almost a grand when it came out on launch down there?
Yeah, it was almost a grand. Actually, I was spending like $1,500, but with considering
No console is worth $1,500. I don't care what it does.
Yeah, man, it was rough.
That's fucking horrible. But so yeah, I think that VR. I think that the sweet spot for VR is going to be $299. And if it's $299, I will probably go all in day one, just because I'm one of those guys who I've got to own stuff like that day one. I just got to see. And that's kind of my curse. But I do
see
absolutely
the games. If there are no good games, I'm not going to pick it up until they figure that out.
Dude, Rez is an instant buy for me. As long as Rez is a launch title, I'm in. Period. That's it. And No Man's Sky, which honestly I can absolutely see No Man's Sky being a VR launch title. Absolutely. But I don't know. Like I said, dude, it's all going to depend on that price, man.
The Bitcher in VR.
The Bitcher.
VR porn. You know VR porn is the future.
Oh, absolutely. And dude, like I absolutely say, but it'll be an Oculus thing. It's not going to be a PlayStation VR thing. It's going to be an Oculus thing. But
CD Projekt is going to get in cahoots with Digital Playground and
they're gonna
put out
get
the Bitcher 3 Wild Cunt.
Wild Cunt.
Exclusive content.
Exclusive I really want to watch that now, just to see. I just want to fucking see.
It's got Evan Stone in it, so I'm sure it's actually.
I know Evan Stone
I'm
is
assuming it's about 80 hours long.
Any movie with Evan Stone in it is good to watch for other than just the sex scenes.
Steve, I just want to point out that Brandon put a picture of that on Twitter, and the tagline is "The dildo of destiny has two ends." But yeah, so yeah, I agree. VR porn is absolutely that will absolutely be a thing when all this shit launches. I completely agree, and it will be the most ridiculous shit you've ever seen. But dude, hey, if that's what people are into, more power to it, man. Like that's whatever floats your boat, man. I'm not gonna judge. That's cool, dude. I know Steve will be into it.
Depends on the release titles.
It depends on what it launches with. Call of Booty. Call of Booty. What's another good one? Oh, I can't think of that shit right now. But there's so many Final Fantasy possibilities. It's endless. But so yeah. So I don't know what else is going on in the news, guys. I think that's it really. For at least interesting shit that I wanted to talk about. I will say this. So I kind of wanted to ask your opinion on something. So my wife is a recent, she wasn't always as she is now. She wasn't always a huge nerd as she is now. She only became truly nerdy when she married me. And so I want to try to introduce her to some of the classics. When I say classics, I'm talking like Super Nintendo era, right? Yeah. And I want her to play one of the Squaresoft, not the Square Enix.
I already know what it is. It popped into my head immediately.
What is it?
Super Metroid.
No. It's got to be an RPG. I really want her to play an RPG.
Oh, come on. Super Metroid is perfect, though.
No, but dude,
I feel like... Anyway.
All right, no. So here's the thing about my wife. She likes something with a good story, right? She likes something with a really good story.
Earthbound.
Earthbound is good. I was about to say it.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, Earthbound.
That's a lot of fun.
I mean, no, dude.
Cool as fuck.
Oh no, dude! I love Earthbound. Do not get me wrong.
The story is compelling too, right from the very beginning. I don't know. It's relatable.
I don't know, man. I was thinking Chrono Trigger.
You make a strong. Yeah, Chrono Trigger's a good one. Okay, for your wife, Chrono Trigger or Earthbound first?
Or I mean, but here's the thing. There's more. You can you got I don't know if you guys ever played Lufia in the Fortress of Doom.
Oh yeah, I played Lufia. Yeah, both Lufias. They're both good. Well, okay, the second one's really good. The first
Legend of Mana.
Legend of Mana or Secret of Mana. Secret of Mana is good.
Secret of Mana, yeah.
Fucking Illusion of Gaia. I don't know if you guys ever played that.
Illusion of Gaia is pretty good. There's some good parts in that one.
Super Mario RPG.
My favorite part of Illusion of Gaia is when they're on the raft, floating out in the north. It's good.
That's why I really want a good Final. I really want Final Fantasy 15 to be good, man, because I want some good fucking RPGs again. Dude, they don't make them like they did back in the Super Nintendo era. They really don't.
No.
I mean, there is
these days.
there is no RPG today, in my personal opinion, not even that can stand up to Chrono Trigger.
Well, I mean, Chrono Trigger was the dream team, man.
I mean, everything fucking came together for that game, and everybody came together. You're right. It was, you had you had the Dragon Ball Z guy, and you had you had Toriyama. What a great fucking game.
And then you had the composer. What's his face? I can't remember. I always forget the name of the composer.
Oh, it wasn't Uematsu, was it?
Well, he did a couple of tracks, but Mitsuda. It was Mitsuda.
Mitsuda. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Yoshida Mitsuda.
Well, they collaborated, but Mitsuda did most of the soundtrack. Uematsu did a few tracks here and there.
And then was Hironobu Sakaguchi involved in that?
I believe he was.
Yeah. But dude, so that's why I'm thinking it's got to be Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is because this is going to be her first Super Nintendo RPG, and I feel like it has to be Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VI.
No, not. I don't think so. I would say Earthbound. It's either between Earthbound or Chrono Trigger.
I think it's going to be Chrono Trigger, and But here's the thing, I tried
Chrono Trigger is
downloading.
my second favorite game I've ever made, so I'm perfectly fine with that.
Here's the thing, though,
What's your first?
No, it's Final Fantasy VII. I know Brandon's first.
Okay.
Yeah, number 1 is FF7, number 2 is Chrono Trigger, and number 3 is Earthbound.
Are we talking RPGs or just games in general?
Games in general. I like
That's an interesting topic. Okay, Steve, what are yours?
I'd say probably 6. I don't know that Earthbound would make the top.
It wouldn't for me.
Yeah, I don't know that it would make the top 5.
I had a very strong attachment to that game when I was 13 years old. There was just something about Earthbound that was exactly everything that I was about at that age.
For me, it's got to be, it's got to be Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, and Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Man, dude, Chrono Trigger Chrono Trigger is one of
my top 10.
Chrono Trigger is one of those games that for me came around at the right time. It came around at a time in my life where, I'll get really candid here. Don't talk about this very often, but I grew up in a home with really bad physical abuse. Right? I grew up with a very violent alcoholic drunk. And I remember my grandmother. She took my grandma was the one who took me places. Hey grandma, drive me here. I was 15 years old, and I saved for 6 fucking months, right? Because I did odd jobs around the neighborhood. And I saved for 6 fucking months, and I had enough money for one game, one fucking Super Nintendo game. And my grandma took me to Toys R Us. That's where I got that shit. And I went in, and I was like, okay, all right, fuck it, I'm grabbing Chrono Trigger. Got it, took it home, and it was one of those games where after a day just getting the shit kicked out of me, I could go up to my room because my dad would pass out, and he would when my dad passed out, dude, he was done. Right, he was just done. He wasn't waking up till next morning, so that was good. And so I could just go up to my room and just fucking lose myself in Chrono Trigger. And it was the first game I ever played, and this is what blew my mind about it. It was the first game I ever played that had multiple paths, multiple endings, And in that regard, it was a fucking pioneer.
You can get an ending as soon as you get to the.
It blew my fucking mind.
What was the time place called? The End of Time.
Oh, The End of Time with Balthazar.
Yeah, you can visit Lavos as soon as you get there and die, and that's an ending. That's like a canon ending.
Dude, I became obsessed with Chrono Trigger and I found all the endings. And here's the thing, this was back before the internet, right? There was no fucking internet, the internet was barely a thing when Chrono Trigger came out.
GameFAQs has been around since 1995, but yeah.
But that was it. But see, here's the thing, I didn't know about GameFAQs at the time, right? So I didn't
find out about GameFAQs until 1997 or so.
I found all the endings on my own, and I found them by accident, dude. I did New Game Plus, and I fought Lavos, right? You know how when Luca builds the portals, and that red glowing star is on one of them, and I was like, what is this? And I ran over there, and I was fighting Lavos, and I was like, holy shit. And so I beat him, and I realized that this game had multiple ways you could beat it. And I went through, and I was like, no fucking way. And I went through, and I found every single one. It took me, after I beat it the first time, it took me a month to get through every ending. And so now every time I see Chrono Trigger or I hear that music, I think about that escape. You know what I mean? I think about that portal that would take me away from what was happening at home and into this own little world I would create.
The weird little Mode 7 portal?
Yeah, exactly right. That little blue squiggly portal, man. It was my fucking gateway away from all the bullshit that I went through at home. And so that's why that game has such a special place to me. You know, and it's the same thing for Final Fantasy VII, man. Final Fantasy VII came along at just the perfect time in my life. Came along at a time where shit just wasn't going right, and I downloaded it on PS4, and I heard that music, you know, and man, I got a little teary, man, because it took me back to a time where shit was rough, and this game, like games like Chrono Trigger, and that's what I love about being a gamer. Like games like Chrono Trigger and games like Final Fantasy VII, these were games that were really, really, you know, they really formed and shaped who I am. I know it's a silly thing to say about a video game.
No, it was the same way for me. Absolutely, games like Earthbound, especially.
They really like I am who I am now because of these games, you know, and so in a weird way, they kind of helped create who I am, you know. And,
I mean, Earthbound was one of the first games I played that had like a real story. I mean, I grew up with the NES, but NES games didn't have fucking stories.
No,
so,
they didn't.
You know, like, so I even played like Final Fantasy 1 on the NES, but you can't say that game even has a story. Like, it's just a vague connection of events.
Well, yeah,
but, like, Earthbound was
it's
one of the first games I played where there was like active storytelling across the whole time. It was basically one of the first RPGs I played, like one of the first story-based RPGs. Because, you know, like I said, I played Final Fantasy 1 when I was a tiny young kid, but that game didn't even have like a story to follow.
No, I mean it was the four warriors of light, and you know your job is to go find chaos and kill them.
Yeah, like you're just kind of you're making your own story up as you go
Yeah.
along because they just didn't have the technology to tell one. But
I mean,
yeah,
and
so Earthbound, the game, it just like it felt like childhood exploration distilled into a video game.
exactly.
Kind of like the way that Miyamoto always talks about the way he came up with The Legend of Zelda, where he was just kind of like going around caves in Japan and just kind of like, you know, trying to find.
Which is
like,
so fucking
secrets or
cool.
whatever.
Like,
Yeah, it's just childhood adventure distilled into a video game, and that's how I felt Earthbound connected with me when I was like 13.
I'll also point out that Earthbound has probably the most disturbing final boss in any game.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The way you have to
was
kill him is awesome too.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
so
it was
good. I don't want to
literally-
say anything about it, but
Yeah, I won't say anything about it either. But anybody listening, you know, no, Brandon makes a good point. If you haven't played Earthbound, go play fucking Earthbound. It's just for the final boss alone. It's fucking nuts.
Good
But yeah,
soundtrack.
so I mean, you know, and that's why I'm so glad that I came up in the Super Nintendo era. You know, because that's really the point in time when developers realized that gamers were ready for more, as opposed to, you know, you're a fucking guy in this, you know, go rescue your girlfriend from gang leader X. You know, that's what we had on the Nintendo, and then we had these emotive experiences, these stories, these involved narratives on Super Nintendo, and they helped shape they helped shape who we are, guys like us who grew up with these experiences and hold them very dear. And
I went
think
back
that's-
and played Earthbound again over the summer after Iwata passed away.
Did you get it on Virtual Console?
No, just emulator because I have the actual Super Nintendo cartridge, so I'm not.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I just prefer frame skip and save state, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Sure.
To play those old retro games, yeah, I would much rather play with frame skip and save state than play it on my real actual SNES that I own. But yeah, and it's still great. I just love the soundtrack. I love the progression to each city. I love how you have to beat up the cops to get out of one net and then go into Tucson, and then you have to meet the Runaway Five, and yeah, it's still every beat in that game is still like right on. I love it.
You make me want to go play some old.
It's so
Super
good.
Nintendo RPGs
the
again,
only thing
man.
that sucks about Earthbound is the same thing that has always sucked about it, and it's the shitty Dragon Quest ripoff battle system.
It really is bad. Yeah,
Like
no,
it's not fun, and you know, like
not,
even
no.
developers knew it. Like they let you know how if you walked into enemies that were low level, that you would automatically win the battle because like they knew it was fucking tedious.
I would kill for another Earthbound or Mother game. I really would. Like I can't believe that it's like Chrono Trigger. I can't believe they haven't done more with that series, with that IP. Like there's so
they
much.
don't. I don't want them to do anything more with Chrono. Like if they don't have the original guy, I don't want. They don't want to even touch it.
Yeah,
I don't
I
like
just
Chrono Cross either. So like Chrono Trigger is just a one-off thing that I.
Oh no,
love.
Chrono Cross is garbage. That wasn't a Chrono game.
I
That was
wouldn't call it garbage. I just don't like it.
I fucking hated it. I
I
absolutely
don't fucking hate it. I just
ruined everything I loved about Chrono Trigger.
It did. See, I wouldn't go that far. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't the sequel to Chrono
Man,
Trigger.
I get serious about Chrono Trigger, man.
I
really do.
love Chrono Trigger too. It's a very meaningful game to me as well. But yeah, no, I don't. Chrono Trigger still had some great music. The graphics were amazing.
I know that.
But yeah.
I know that Steve was a very troubled kid growing up, so Super Punch Out was really important to him because he could just.
I was gonna say Earthworm Jim. You know,
So the first, like, I heard on the Giant Bombcast Jeff Gerstmann say this on the Game of the Year podcast. He was right, but it's like the first level of Earthworm Jim is good, and then the entire rest of the game is all awful.
That was one of the most difficult, most frustrating games I've ever played in my fucking life.
It has so many gimmicky parts that don't control well or are just like poorly thought out.
Dude, and here the fucking all you need to say is the underwater parts when you're piloting that glass bubble.
Oh man, yeah, that's obviously the worst part of the game.
Yeah, so you guys know exactly what I'm talking about then.
Yeah, because you have your ship. Every time you crash into the side, it breaks a little bit more.
And I'm talking like not even when you crash. Every time you gently tap the fucking wall.
Tap the side of this. Yeah, exactly.
It was fucking awful. I actually never finished the game. I could never get past that. That's one of those games I just never fucking finished, dude, because of that one part.
Yeah, I don't think
I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It was like Battletoads, man.
I beat Battletoads.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, dude.
It wasn't easy.
Everybody here just found a newfound fucking respect for Brandon. Holy shit.
Man.
I mean, I played a lot. It's like, because back in the days you only had so many games to play, so you played the ones that you had a lot. And yeah, I eventually got through Battletoads.
You know what you just made me realize, Brandon? I've got an Xbox One now. I can grab Rare Replay.
Yeah, exactly. You can grab Rare Replay.
I might have to do that tonight.
I could beat Battletoads, but I never landed the aircraft carrier in Top Gun.
I did.
I did.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I landed I landed the aircraft carrier. I landed the plane.
You know that up meant down on the D-pad because you're controlling the nose of the plane.
Dude, that was the origins of inverted controls right there, man.
Yep. Nope, I wasn't. 7-year-old me was not smart enough to know that.
I landed the plane on the aircraft carrier. I beat Mike Tyson when I was fucking 6.
I never did that either. I never beat Mike Tyson.
I cleared Mike Tyson. I would say the only other thing that even comes close, but dude, the only thing I ever did on the NES that even comes close to landing the airplane on the aircraft carrier has got to be either hitting the end of Ninja Gaiden, which was a fucking.
See, I never even played Ninja Gaiden when I was a kid. That was just one that kind of passed me by. I don't know.
Oh god, I fucking love Ninja Gaiden.
I never played the original Castlevania, and I never played.
What?
Yeah, so I grew up with an NES, and I played almost all of the classics. But just for some reason, Castlevania and Ninja Gaiden were like the two that just kind of. I even played like Yo-Noid. I played like
Yo-Noid.
Yo-Noid.
But yeah, no, I never played Castlevania. I never played Ninja Gaiden. I know.
Oh, dude, you know what I never played? I never played Kid Icarus.
I know. Well, yeah, I heard that wasn't a very good game, so
it was good. No, I liked it. I mean, it doesn't stand. It's not like a treasured classic like Metroid or something.
Well, I remember even when I was like 6, 7 years old, I didn't hear great things. It wasn't like a game I was like, oh, I really need to go play Kid Icarus.
I'll say this though,
which is why when people were clamoring for a Kid Icarus like 10 years ago or whatever, I was like, what the fuck? Where did this random Kid Icarus come from? Like where did all these random ass Kid Icarus? Like I remember when I was growing up, nobody cared about
followers going down right now.
Game. Then suddenly they put Pit in Smash Brothers, and everybody is a Kid Icarus fan again or something.
Well, not only that, but dude, here's the thing. So when they put Pit in Smash Brothers, two things happened. One subset of people went, "Yeah, Pit," and the other people went, "Who the fuck is this angel?"
Like I remembered
That's
Kid
what
Icarus,
happened.
It was just like such a weird random ass thing for them to bring back, and then for people to be like, yeah, like now that he's in Smash Brothers, we actually want a new Kid Icarus game. Like, are you fucking crazy?
I'll tell you what though, man. Speaking of Smash Brothers, we have a 3DS. We downloaded Cloud. Dude, so fucking cool. Cloud is so fucking cool in Smash Brothers.
So what does he have?
Dude, check this out. You play as Cloud and you fight on Midgar, and it's got the assault on the Mako reactor music. You know when he jumps off the train.
Yeah, the opening.
Or sometimes it's got the battle music. Sometimes it's got the boss music, and it's the actual music from Final Fantasy VII. It's not like remastered. It's like
really straight up MIDI rips. Nice.
And And
The way it should be.
randomly, Cloud uses all his limit breaks, like Omnislash, Braver. But randomly, like little colored bubbles will fall from the sky when you're in the Midgar stage, and if you grab them, you can summon either Leviathan, Bahamut,
Oh, nice.
Odin, or Rama.
They showed all of those in the trailer.
Dude, it is so, dude. Like, and my 7.5-year-old dude, I wanted to fucking weep. He saw a trick because he loves his 3DS. He's grown up just like his daddy,
Yeah.
and he saw it. He was like,
Ocarina of Time 3DS.
he's got it. He hasn't played it yet.
Okay.
But he was like, Daddy, can we download this? I was like, yeah, hell yeah, we can download this. So it's not a question. I was going to download it anyway. So he downloaded it, and dude, now when he comes over next weekend, he wants to play Final Fantasy VII, and I almost bust into tears.
Man, I don't know how he's gonna feel about that. There's some dated-ass gameplay there. I hope he likes it.
Dude, you would think that, right? But here's the thing: he loves playing old games.
Okay, fair enough.
He loves it. Yeah, because he loves it, dude. So I'm really, and
Yeah,
dude, I'm just gonna turn the cheats on and let him go.
I would figure the younger kids could still easily pick up the arcade games of our younger days, but the RPGs are the slow ones.
I don't know. Our arcade games are like really unforgiving.
Yeah, but they're still like easy to pick up and play.
4 lives and then that's it. That's the end of the game.
You know what? Find me a 7-year-old that couldn't pick up Ninja Turtles in time and not have fun with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I think it's the unforgiving nature of like the game will end. Like that doesn't happen in today's game. There's no game over.
Yeah.
Shut the game over. Shut the game off and start over. Like that's not happening.
Unless you're talking about like free-to-play mobile games.
Or like Rogue Legacy or something like that. I mean, if you're talking about roguelikes or fucking Spelunky, then yeah, those games hold true to. But that Steve makes a great point. I mean, today's games are extremely forgiving, probably to a fault. But again, that's the nature of how the industry's evolved. I mean, you can't.
I mean, the old school difficulty sensibilities are still being represented in indie games. Play fucking Nuclear Throne and tell me that isn't some NES hard.
I fucking love Nuclear Throne, by the way, dude. I took the recommendation. I downloaded it and I've made it to 4-1.
Yeah.
And
5-3 is the wall. If you can beat 5-3, you'll probably get to the final boss.
I'm playing as the Crystal because that little shield he's got is overpowered as fuck.
Yeah. I like a character that you haven't unlocked yet. So the character that I like has dual wielding. His name is Steroids, and you unlock him after you get to level 6-1.
Dude, I'm a huge fan. I'm glad you recommended that to me. I downloaded it based on your recommendation, and now I'm having a fuck. And I got it on Vita. The only thing is I got it on Vita, and I get the sense that it's a lot easier to play on PS4.
Or with a mouse on PC, yeah.
Yeah, but playing with those little nubs in the Vita is kind of a pain in the ass. But other than that,
even playing with the dual sticks on a PS4, it still kind of feels like it's just a better game with the mouse. Kind of like Hotline Miami. You're just like, this game.
Well, yeah. I mean, games like that, you can feel. You're like, okay, this was obviously created with PC in mind.
Nuclear Throne has a little bit more forgiving like sensibilities than Hotline Miami 2, where it's just like 1 second twitch, you're dead. So you need the split-second precision of a mouse. Nuclear Throne runs a little bit better with a controller than Hotline Miami does, but still.
Well, anybody got anything else?
I guess I should just mention that Earthworm Jim is not on my top 3.
Steve, we never got your top 3. Give us your top 3. Yeah. I want Gabe's as well because Gabe didn't give us ours. So real quick, Steve, what are your top 3?
I'd say Final Fantasy VI is my first.
I never would have guessed based on your avatar.
Yeah, but my second 2 are actually multiplayer games that I picked up when I was like an older teenager. SOCOM 2. And then I picked up Final Fantasy 11. And I think those 2 games have kind of made video games relevant for me, like going forward. Because I think playing the SNES titles would have been good, and I probably could have been okay if there was never a multiplayer option, just putting down a controller and kind of walking away. But playing games like SOCOM 2 and Final Fantasy 11 with like this team-based atmosphere, this huge community of people to play with and experience these games with, really made it much more interesting for me. And SOCOM 2 was like the first shooter that I really enjoyed.
Yeah,
I played like tirelessly.
Same basic experience with Counter-Strike at exactly the same time at around SOCOM 2 came out.
Yeah, so I'd say Counter-Strike's probably up there for a lot of people for the same reason.
Counter-Strike is in my top 5. My
Gabe,
number 4 is Resident Evil 4 because that's the best action game ever.
Good choice. Yeah, no, that's a great choice, dude. Gabe, what about you, buddy? What are your top three? We'll end with Gabe's top three.
Top three. I don't know, man. Seriously, I don't know. My taste keeps changing over time, so
You at least have to give us the number one.
Yeah, at least give us the number one. What's your favorite game of all time?
Oh my god. I don't know.
I think we just
What are the
Gabe's
hard
mind.
questions?
Yeah, I never stopped to think about it. What is my favorite game of all time?
Gabe has no idea what his favorite game of all time
I've
is.
always known what my favorite game of all time was.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
not
mine's
changing my
Like
tattoo at this
running in my
point.
head.
Gaming for me, I mean, I had a weird relationship.
It's a religion, and
I
Hayes
was-
is fit.
I was the sad kid that never had a Super Nintendo.
Never
had a Super Nintendo.
I was gonna guess it was Deadly Towers or Yo Noid, but I guess not.
Yo, Noid.
So most of the time, I had a Master System, a Genesis, Sega Genesis, then again I had a PC. So seriously, there's so many games. If I had to name one game, sorry guys, I can't.
Okay, so we'll do this. Gabe's favorite video game of all time is video games. And we'll leave it at
BB's
that.
Kids on Super Nintendo.
Not the Lego game, all right? Not the Lego game.
The Home Alone game.
I know my Home Alone.
I can tell
Oh Jesus!
my favorite game series of all time. It's Metal Gears.
Well, you're bot.
Did you see
you're bot.
Super Mario Gears?
Super Mario Gears?
What?
Well, yeah, exactly. What? Your mic broke up. I didn't
Yeah,
understand what you said.
dude, you're botting out bad.
What? Did you? I'm sorry. I said Metal
No,
Gear
we
Solid.
have no idea what you said.
Your mic is all fucked up. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. We'll come back to Gabe's games at another time when his mic's
Okay,
all
but just
fucked up.
my favorite game series of all time is Metal Gear Solid. My
There we
favorite
go.
game.
Now we hear you. Now I can hear you. That's a worthy choice too. There he goes again.
All right.
All
Yeah,
right.
Gabe's
got
mic is done. We got it though. We
Okay, that's
were
it.
able to secure an answer.
There you go.
Yeah,
Metal
my
Gear
internet
Solid.
connection.
That means
Four
I,
flops.
that exclamation mark means I heard you.
All right, guys. Well, this has been episode 15-2 of the Super Deformed Gamecast. As always, it's not always poetry. We don't always agree, but we always keep it real. We'll be back next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in.